Okay.
You have so many interesting things to tell, I believe. And I know you now for many years. We came across each other in this building a couple of times, and we're talking about things, about ideas with IV drips and so on. And I was thinking that this could be very interesting for the people, because now if you Google IV drip, it's just like, I don't know how many pages. I gave it up, like 30 pages of sponsored ads. So every clinic is doing these drips, but so far we are offering only some limited products. And obviously also we would like to get the products from you, and I would be interested in knowing more about how you're making these things, and for that reason I'm truly interested in compounding a little bit.
Yes.
So this is my friend Guillaume, Dr. Guillaume. He is a pharmacologist.
No, I'm an integrative nutritionist. And what makes Revitalife different, because I brought my world of wellness and nutrition to the pharmacology, and how we produce things that are not pharmaceutical only. So,
The nutrition is actually very close to pharmacy, isn't it? Because, I mean, it's also about all the things that we incorporate.
Yes. But the compounding pharmacy, we have been hearing about personalized treatments and personalized medication for maybe 20 years.
Really?
And when will it start? And it cannot start without compounding, because compounding by definition is a preparation for a certain condition or disease for a specific patient that has that condition or disease. It's tailored medication. And it is FDA approved. The FDA has approved in their regulations compounding pharmacies. They have 7,800.
I read about this. In the US, it is an FDA approved on two levels. One level if you want to send the medication or market the medication for many people, and you need to then get a second level approval, and then a first level approval, which is locally regulated by the local authorities that control the compounding pharmacies.
Correct. Yeah.
But the advantage is that you can tailor the pharmaceuticals for patients. Why would you need to tailor the?
Because we are all biologically different. There's not one person is like another person, and not a disease. The same people that have cancer, two people have cancer, their cancer is different from the other person. Even breast cancer, any kind of cancer, because the body is different. So you need to look what this person needs. Does one size fits all work for everybody? I think that model has failed, really. This pharmaceutical big industry, of course they are doing their best, but again, do I need the same medication as somebody else who has for heart disease, for example? The same dosage or a little bit less, a little bit more. What about if there's allergen in that medication that is affecting me? So that's what compounding pharmacy does. They can do it in different dosage, different forms. Can be liquid, suspension, sublingual.
If somebody cannot swallow, for example.
Exactly, for children. They change the taste.
Yes.
So many things.
So you're doing this on a regular basis to change the taste for children, and I read you can even make it in lollipop form or so.
Yes. Lollipop. Yes. So, there's something called a troche. It's like a candy. It's butter. You put it.
I advise my patients to use lozenges. Actually, has a good effect overnight.
Correct. In my belief, after intravenous, second best is anything that goes through the mouth, not swallow, because when we swallow capsules or any kind of tablets like this, the assimilation is maybe 30%, 40%. If it's a really hard tablet, it will not be even digested.
Okay, good. Now this is a little bit difficult to understand for our audience. So what you mean is you're saying basically that if you chew a tablet or you swallow a tablet, it has to go through a complicated process in our digestive system until eventually the substance reaches
The
to
liver.
the liver. Not only that, maybe it's meant to be for the brain.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I don't know if you go on my YouTube channel. I had a very interesting talk with a lady. Her name is Yolanda, and she was promoting a tool that delivers the drug in the nose in certain area where you give it directly to the sphenopalatine ganglion, which is directly the one that is in charge for the migraine. And she says, if you look at it, I mean, the people should actually see the advantage. Usually so many thousand pills for migraine are going through the entire body from tip to toe and through the liver and through the kidney and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And have a little effect, or you need to give so much to get something there where you want to have an effect. And at the same time, you could give it directly.
Correct.
Yeah?
It reaches very fast, and nasal preparation is very effective for different, definitely for migraine. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and I think I would dispute this with you. I think the nose, then the nasal mucosa is even more open than the oral mucosa. But just because we don't have so much or such a thing.
Correct. Yes.
Now, so you're having a compounding pharmacy here in Dubai. One pharmacy or more pharmacy?
Now, Revita Life started in 2010. About 3-4 years ago, there are 2 more maybe. Everybody is doing well, going to their best.
Okay, good. That's the business perspective. But I mean, I think there are some regulatory aspects that need to be considered and also need to be emphasized, because obviously, I mean, there are people who criticize certain medicine. For example, I have a patient who wants to have the original drug. Yeah, he wants to have the original drug from, you name it, company from Europe or the US, and not the copy from Oman or from India or even from the UAE.
Yeah.
And the question is, are they right in demanding this or not? Yeah. And then again, also, you hear, if you suggest sometimes compounded medication to a patient, the patient says, I don't trust what's going to happen in the laboratory. Can you be the mythbuster here and tell us the truth, how it works?
For sure. So compounded preparations are, the FDA approves compounded preparations and pharmaceutical compounding pharmacies. So the raw material must come from a FDA registered raw material producer. So the molecule is the same. If the drug comes from India, from Russia, from the US with a different label, but the raw material is what counts. If you have the same raw material, then you have the same molecule, and then you can prepare the same drug in the form that you want, in the dosage form, and
So the raw material is not produced in the UAE, or is it also produced?
No. All our raw materials are imported from the US, from FDA registered compliant suppliers.
Yeah. So we know now we can trust the material, but then how about the process? I mean, I believe in a pharmaceutical company, there is a lot at stake if they give millions of tablets out, and there will be some dirt or so in, for example, in an IV solution or so. How do you make sure that you have the same quality?
That's what's really beautiful about compounding pharmacy, that we are not allowed or to do batches, hundreds and millions. It's by prescription. So the connection is physician to the pharmacy or pharmacist to the patient. And usually this connection is very important between the pharmacy and the doctor to see the case, be their consultant, if it's especially something that is a little bit difficult, and so the quality is regulated by two things, something called United States Pharmacopoeia for sterile and non-sterile. There are procedures, and these are really very known worldwide, followed by chapters of compounding, which is for sterile, non-sterile.
I would like to know how exactly the sterility is guaranteed. How do you do this? How do you make sure that that small batch that was just like maybe only one infusion or two
One
is made for me?
Yes. Let's work.
Let's say it's one that I asked you to make for me. How can I be assured that this is free of fungus or anything?
Exactly, and safe. So for one IV, we have to prepare 2 more. Okay, so we test them. We have 2 tests, and they are in the text in the
Rules,
guidelines. So it has to go through endotoxin and for sterility. So we do these in house. We have microbiologists, and then when the results come out, we release the IV for the patient.
And that's actually the same as they have to do it in the pharmaceutical industry.
Exactly the same. It has to be, it's a clean room, meaning it's sterilized room. It has certain, what we call the ISO for particle, in the air of the room, ISO 6, ISO 7. Then
We can invest in it.
it's a big, huge, but safety comes first. You have to do it.
Oh my God, it can be a headache.
I'm gonna really insist on this, that there is this endotoxin which is will show a virus, bacteria. It will show if there's any growth, and then go to sterility. So that's what really matters, and then anything comes further.
And how about endotoxins? Like, for example, what are these endotoxins that you're testing? Everything? I mean, how can you test everything? Like arsenic, lead? Are you testing everything?
Yes. There is a kit that has what exactly the guideline tells you to test, but the kits are ready for all the requirements. And the sterility is very well known from very international company. We do it in-house also.
So I can really trust your IV drip.
Yes.
And your IV injectable or so.
Yes.
Tablets anyway, I think, they don't have to be sterile, huh?
No.
And also you do creams, I think.
Yes. People don't really know how important what we put on our skin. Skin is like a sponge. What we put on the skin goes in the skin. I tell especially women, please, be careful about makeup. Makeup is petroleum based. And I read one study a while ago saying that on average, a woman that uses makeup on a regular basis will gain between half a kg to 1 kg per year. Because the petroleum will go in the body. It goes on the joints, on the organ and stuff. How can you put petroleum on your hand and try to wash it? It takes so very, very. So what you shampoo, all these chemicals, you have to be very, very careful. So it doesn't have to be organic. Organic means non-toxic or non-chemical, basically base.
So organic would actually. So what do the women have to look out for? So if there's petroleum inside, it should be written on it. Or how can they know?
Well, commercial, they have to. Instead of looking at hundreds of products, just go and check where can I find, it's online or somewhere else, non-toxic or non-chemical, the better word is to say non-chemical makeup.
And then use.
I will start with the foundation because the foundation goes first on the skin, right? This is a little bit of mascara, definitely not lipstick because it has lead. It's very well known.
Lipstick has
the highest, yes. So you can find now very available online products, makeup that doesn't have these toxic things.
But you're not compounding also makeup.
I want to.
It's a good idea actually, huh?
Yes, for sure.
So now we have actually covered all aspects of compounding pharmacy, or is there anything that you would like to emphasize on more?
We talked about the IV, for example.
Yeah.
In IV, not only in veins, you have intramuscular.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
CoQ10.
Yes.
Especially the oil-based or fat nutrients like
yes, they go as subdermal.
Yes, intramuscular.
Subcutaneous. Yeah. Yes. So of course you have these preparations as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And now before I want to finish this chapter with the compounding pharmacy and come to what kind of substances can get compounded, I mean, obviously, I heard already theoretically everything.
Correct.
But obviously, there is a big, let's say now, a big hype about this. Yeah? And there are vitamins and supplements and
mineral
cocktails of these, and everybody has their own. Before I come to this, I want to know from you, in your experience, and you're since more than 10 years in the market, I always found it difficult as a doctor to decide which kind of dosage to give to this or that patient. I knew what was on the market was not right, but that's basically what we learn. We learn in medical school, you give so and so much of this and this, and for example, to reach this and this, you give so and so much. But for sure, doctors do things different. I give you an example. I'm doing surgeries in one particular hospital, and in this particular hospital, there are a few anesthesiologists, and one of them is sticking out. He's using exactly the same protocol as everybody because they use all the same protocol. But always, when I operate with him, it starts bleeding. Yeah, it's always bleeding. And I was just thinking, okay, good, can be. Yeah. But then my colleague says exactly the same. So I was just thinking, So there is something that the doctor needs to feel, which is right. He needs to have this in his, from his knowledge maybe, or from his experience, to give the right medication. How do you deal with it?
I have not came across something like this, maybe.
Not the anesthesiology field.
Yes.
So that was just an example. So I'm just thinking, so let's say, for example, I want to do a bioidentical hormone replacement for a woman that has menopause, and she has a weight of, let's say, 75 kilo and a height of 1.65 m.
Yeah.
And her estrogen levels are low, or high. They are high. Menopause.
Progesterone very low. Sometimes we find women that have zero progesterone level.
So first of all, I'm not a gynecologist. Yeah. So, but is it really a matter of the gynecologist, or is it a matter of the anti-aging specialist? Yeah.
And the general practitioners, in this country and worldwide, GPs. So they need to know at least the basics, right?
Yeah.
Great that you mentioned bioidentical hormones. I call it bioidentical hormones are hormones that are identical, not similar. So under the microscope, they are exactly like our own hormones. That's why they do no harm. So me personally, I don't call them bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. I call them replenishment therapy because you are replenishing the same hormone, not replacing the hormones like synthetic hormones. So for gynecologists, for doctors who have experience in hormones, in general, they know what they are doing, what to check for. This is like lab tests they have to look at, and then you have to balance these hormones. You start very low and very slow. Okay, but really, hormone replacement or replenishment, bioidentical hormones do make miracles. Unlike unfortunately, the synthetic hormones, because there was a study in 2004, Women Initiative study, put 40,000 women on the synthetic hormones, and they stopped the study after 6 months because the rate, and it's published online, they stop it because the rate of cancer, heart disease, stroke started to show with these women. They put 40,000 nurses.
So that was the not bioidentical.
Exactly. Yeah.
Why are there non-bioidentical hormones on the market in the first place?
Because they cannot be patented. They come from natural sources. Anything that is natural, any pharmaceutical company cannot patent it. So this is a great example to talk now about the hormone as a cream, for example. We give hormone, and so it bypasses the digestive tract, and the liver goes into the bloodstream. And we give capsule, of course, depends on in general, progesterone is capsule, estrogen is topical. So yes, for the doctors, we educate them, give them the initial, and then we start with them. Okay, we are not prescribing for you, but we are guiding you. So they send us lab reports. We tell them, okay, we see that this, and doctors in any condition, any disease should not treat the lab report. They should treat the person.
Yeah.
The lab is only a tool to see what's happening, but you have to listen to the patient, see what they are suffering from. Are they sleeping? Are they sitting in the sun? Are they drinking enough? Are they, the stress level?
Anecdotally, my wife, she did this kind of therapy, and she was not well followed up, and then she developed osteoporosis.
Okay.
And she was really scared because she was thinking, oh my God, I cannot do sport anymore, and so on. Yeah, so she stopped everything. Yeah, and I think this is an example how this needs to be controlled. If you give any hormone to a patient, you obviously need to be interested in seeing the patient again and see what it does with the patient and checking what it could do, and see if there is any effects of that. Is this correct?
For sure. Sure.
So therefore, the hormone, but the hormone therapy, the hormone replace or replenishment is actually, from what I learned in my anti-aging courses, one of the starters in the fight against aging, because we know that the adrenal gland is the first organ to give up.
Yes.
Already with 30 or so, it's enough. Yeah. And then we slide slowly into a transformation. A man gets a bigger belly and so on. Yeah, and that transformation of having less hormones, and also the thyroid gland is one of these.
Yes.
And now the idea behind this is obviously what?
Behind the
bioidentical hormone.
Look, we know that hormone and energy is what make us live.
Yeah.
Right? When there's one that is out of balance, the entire body is out of balance, basically. Yeah. Okay. So I give two examples. One person has nothing really to complain about. Okay, no serious things. We look at their hormones. They are low. Because with age, the graph goes like this, from 0 to 100 years. And in the 30s, we start losing the hormones, okay? So if you replenish them with something that don't mess the system, so there's pathways for bioidentical hormones, because they are like our hormone, they go straight in the body. So the person starts feeling more energetic. They feel maybe sometimes 10 years younger in terms of energy. It's a beauty from inside. What we put on our face, cosmetics and other things, it's just on the.
Yeah. So there are also growth hormones are one.
We don't do growth hormone because it's available commercially. So now for sick people, really, if they are sick, to be honest, every doctor must put in any discipline, they should check the hormones, even if they don't want to use hormone or know about hormone, but they have to look at that big puzzle.
Yeah, it's a very big and very difficult to analyze puzzle, I must say. Yeah, not so easy to understand all the hormones. There are also some substances that are basic for a few hormones, and if you replenish them, you get a handful of hormones at the same time.
Yeah, I know it's difficult, but I mean, since we know that it's out there and we are looking at something else and ignoring the hormones, which is the essential of our existence, our body needs hormone, right? So the responsibility comes on the treating physician.
Yes, I think so too. But that's also, I mean, I would just like to convey to our audience that this is not just a simple procedure. He gives me this tablet or that, and that's it. It is.
It's not like a supplement or something. Take it. It's a treatment.
It's a thinking process.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we had we were talking about hormones. Of course, there is a lot to talk about each and every hormone, and I hope that I can invite you for that later. Then there are also minerals and supplements and vitamins. Yeah. So there's a wide range of other substances which are really important. And I recently learned when I had another interview partner here that vitamin D is actually a hormone. Yeah.
Yes.
And should be regarded like this as well because it has many important functions.
Right.
Most likely it's one of the most important substances that need to be.
It's one of the most important, and unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to scare the audience or make a controversy, but the ideal source of vitamin D is through the sun, because there's so many things that happens from the sun, the ultraviolet light that makes this hormone being produced naturally.
Yeah.
When we take the supplement, just because we see it low in the blood, and then after 2, 3, 4 months we see it elevated.
Yeah.
Is it elevated naturally, or this is circulating, this vitamin D is not going to circulating into that? That's now when we talk about maybe another time about lifestyle.
Yeah.
We can cover all these.
Yes, exactly. That will be interesting. Yeah. And then with that, I also have another topic that I really, I mean, we need to make an entire video about this, I think. That is about fish and meat. Yeah. The lithium. The lithium, which is the main mineral that we need to prevent Alzheimer's disease. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned vitamins and minerals. We believe that a lot of scientists, doctors believe, and there's one very famous doctor who said maybe 100 years ago that there is no condition or disease that cannot be traced to a mineral deficiency. So mineral is very, very important, minerals. And unfortunately now we are getting much less from the soil, from the process of food and how we cook them.
Yeah, at the end, I mean, definitely it has to be like this because we are all stardust. Yeah, we are made of the earth.
Yes.
We are made of the. At the end of the day, if you look at the organic chemistry and the inorganic chemistry, it starts with inorganic.
Yeah.
And then only.
Right. And to remineralize the body, sometimes it takes everybody like on the street, you see, I can tell you for sure we can know that there are mineral deficiencies. So, magnesium, for example. Again, we need maybe one episode on magnesium. It's a miracle mineral, and I'm very specialist in that. I spent many years looking to mineral and to magnesium. But it takes sometimes maybe 6 months to a year on a daily basis to remineralize the body to an optimum level.
I remember when I was a kid, my grandmother, she's from France, she said exactly what you just said. Magnesium is the key for a long life. And she fed my grandfather with that, and obviously she herself also. And they kept a relatively healthy lifestyle. And both of them exceeded, I think my grandfather died at 96, and she was even exceeding 100 years. Oh, maybe there is something in this, yeah. But they were really only talking about magnesium. That's still here in the back of my head from my childhood.
Yeah. For the audience, very briefly, they found a bacteria that apparently has been on Earth for billions of years. A single cell bacteria. The only mineral that has is magnesium. So conclusion, this bacteria could not live without magnesium. Magnesium has, see a lot of studies, 500 to 1500, depends on who is, doing the reports or the trials or the scientific documents. There are between 500 to 1500 enzymatic reactions from magnesium. Nothing works without magnesium. For vitamin D to work, you need magnesium. Copper is another mineral that is incredibly important.
How about zinc?
Sorry?
Zinc?
Zinc, yes.
Isn't it the one that we always said vitamin D doesn't work without zinc?
It's copper and
copper and
zinc, yeah. Sodium, potassium. Potassium is also, people are not talking, considering potassium, which is extremely important. Yeah.
Yeah, we will, oh my God, there's a lot, there's the entire nutritionist field here. We can open that book. But before I want to finish, I would like to just hear from you, your research. How do you do your research? Do you have a research lab? Do you have a research team?
So I do my research on my own at home, and then I put the links together, okay? And then I have a research and development pharmacist under my supervision. I visit and talk, okay, for this disease, this condition, these it can be small or big, doesn't matter how serious it is. How can we do a formulation scientifically based and get the raw material and produce this formulation? And we have a team of experts and chemists in the US that at the end they look at what we want to do, and then to import all these raw material, it goes through the Ministry of Health. It's not like we call the phone and we get them raw material.
So first you need to do these feasibility and safety studies.
Yes.
So, I mean, you have an idea. Probably you try out the idea on yourself or not?
I do a lot.
Yes. You think, oh, this could work. Yeah. Then you do the safety and feasibility studies with rats or whatever animals. I think
no, not animal, because we are compounding pharmacy. I don't have a research lab.
Yes.
Yeah. It's only, but we look at the clinical trials, at the scientific documents, and we look also who is doing something similar in other parts of the world, and then we provide this to the Ministry of Health, the raw material special formulations, and we get the importation.
All right.
So anyway,
really interesting. But so you're already quite advanced in the pharmaceutical level now, yeah?
Yeah.
So did you do this because it was boring to do just compounding pharmacy? Or?
Like again, a nutritionist, how can a nutritionist own or become, a compounding pharmacy? It was just out of humanitarian maybe reason that I wanted to help this part of the world. When I came to visit from Canada, I came here for 2 years, 2 weeks to visit, and it's in a wellness American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine conference. And I thought, well, this part of the world needs what we have in North America, but not from a business perspective. I didn't have a business plan. So I stayed here. I got the license with about 2 years to work with the authorities to get the license.
So this was your passion?
Yes, passion is to heal the world. And I think really people are sick sometimes unnecessarily because they don't know, because of the marketing of the lifestyle, the lights that we have, the phones, the red, blue light, everything is affecting our...
Dr. Guillaume, I would like to give you a platform to give your mission to the people to heal, because it's somehow also what I like to do, because we can see so much stupidity. So sorry to say this, but there's so much rules that are actually not so beneficial. And they are followed very, very crazily, and then other things, they are easy, and nobody follows, and the people ruin themselves. Another aspect is, for example, the sleep, but that's something that we also can mention later. So for now, I really want to thank you so much for having the time to come, and I hope that you will soon be here again. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it will be really fantastic. And yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Guillaume. Dr. Guillaume, actually, what's your family name?
Safah.
Safah.
Yeah. Guillaume Safah.
Dr. Guillaume Safah,
Voilà.
a very famous nutritionist in Dubai, whose mission is to help the people to lead a healthy life and live long, yeah, and with good life quality.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to be here.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Mark.